What would you do if the woman you loved, the one you built a life with, was secretly dismantling it piece by piece right under your nose? I never thought I would find myself staring at a glowing phone screen at 2 a.m., the blue light illuminating a message that wasn't meant for my eyes. It was a Tuesday, the night everything broke. My wife, Sarah, lay beside me, feigning sleep, her breathing too even, too perfect. The phone, usually locked down tighter than Fort Knox, had vibrated with an incoming text, and in her haste, she'd left it unlocked on the nightstand. A name I didn't recognize, Mark, flashed across the screen, followed by a string of emojis and a single, devastating phrase. "Can't wait for our next business trip." Babe. My blood ran cold, a silent scream trapped in my throat. The world tilted, and the comfortable reality I knew shattered into a million shards. I knew, with a sickening certainty, that my life would never be the same. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The humiliation hit me first, a tidal wave of shame that threatened to drown me. Not just for myself, but for the naive fool I'd been. Sarah, my Sarah, the woman I'd married 8 years ago in a small ceremony overlooking Lake Michigan, was a stranger. Her recent behavior, which I'd dismissed as stress from her new job at Sterling & Finch, suddenly clicked into place. The late nights, the sudden interest in new lingerie, the evasive answers about her whereabouts, all of it. I felt like a clown parading my trust while she laughed behind my back. Over the next few weeks, a strange, unsettling pattern emerged. Sarah became distant. Her eyes often glazed over, lost in some private world I wasn't invited to. Our conversations dwindled to polite necessities, punctuated by long silences. She'd leave her phone face down, always, but the subtle vibrations, the quick glances, the hushed tones, when she thought I wasn't listening, were impossible to ignore. One evening I found a receipt from the Grand Hyatt Chicago, tucked into her purse, a weekend stay. 2 nights for a conference she'd mentioned only vaguely. My heart pounded a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The dates didn't align with any industry event I knew of. The slow discovery was agonizing, a self-inflicted torture. I learned to anticipate her showers, her trips to the grocery store. Each time I'd snatch her phone, my fingers trembling as I navigated through her apps. She was meticulous, deleting entire conversations, but she wasn't perfect. A forgotten screenshot in her photo gallery. A quick exchange with Mark about meeting at the signature room at the 95th on North Michigan Avenue, a place we'd celebrated our anniversary just last year. The betrayal was a physical ache, a constant pressure behind my eyes. Sarah, meanwhile, transformed. The sweet, loving wife I knew vanished, replaced by a cold, calculating woman. She became manipulative, twisting my words, gaslighting me when I tried to bring up her odd hours. "You're being paranoid, David," she'd say, her voice dripping with feigned concern. "You feeling okay? Maybe you need to see someone." She made me doubt my own sanity, made me question what I was seeing and hearing. She acted as if I was the problem, my suspicions an inconvenience to her perfect double life. The villains, Sarah and this Mark, seemed untouchable, living in their bubble of deceit, oblivious to the storm brewing within me. I remember one particularly dark night, sitting alone in our living room on West Fullerton Parkway, the city lights of Chicago blurring outside the window. I felt utterly broken. The man I was, the life I had, it was all gone. The pain was so profound, so suffocating, that I considered just walking away, disappearing. But then, a flicker of something else ignited within me. Not anger, not sadness, but a cold, hard resolve. They had taken everything, but they wouldn't take my dignity. I would not be a victim. I would be a strategist. My revenge began quietly, meticulously, and I started gathering proof, not just for my own sanity, but for the legal battle I knew was coming. I installed a small, discreet camera in her car, pointed at the passenger seat. I hired a private investigator, a former cop named Frank from a small office on LaSalle Street, who specialized in infidelity cases. He provided me with irrefutable evidence, photos of Sarah and Mark, a slick-haired real estate agent, entering and leaving a discreet apartment building in Lincoln Park, holding hands, kissing. The dates, times, and locations were all logged. I also started backing up every text message, every email, every social media interaction I could find, even the ones she thought she'd deleted. I discovered a cloud backup she'd forgotten about, a treasure trove of incriminating conversations. She deleted the messages, but forgot one crucial detail: the automatic cloud sync. With the evidence mounting, I began setting my traps. Legally, I consulted with a top divorce attorney in downtown Chicago, a no-nonsense woman named Ms. Albright, whose office overlooked the Chicago River. She advised me on how to proceed, ensuring I had every advantage. Socially, I started subtly reconnecting with mutual friends, planting seeds of doubt, not outright accusations, but observations about Sarah's recent stress and unusual behavior. I wanted the ground to be fertile for the truth when it finally broke. I also made sure to secure my financial assets, moving funds, updating beneficiaries, and ensuring she couldn't touch our joint accounts without my explicit consent. The public exposure was orchestrated with surgical precision. It began with the divorce papers served to Sarah at her office at Sterling and Finch, not by a process server, but by Ms. Albright herself, ensuring maximum impact. The papers detailed every instance of her infidelity. Backed by the investigators' reports and the cloud-recovered messages, the shock on her face, I heard, was priceless. Simultaneously, an anonymous email containing a curated selection of the most damning photos and texts was sent to her colleagues, her family, and even Mark's wife. The email was carefully crafted to appear as if it came from a disgruntled employee or a concerned friend, not from me. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Sarah was fired from Sterling and Finch, her reputation in the competitive Chicago finance world utterly destroyed. Her family, conservative and traditional, disowned her. Mark's wife filed for divorce, citing his infidelity, and his real estate business crumbled under the weight of the scandal. Sarah, once so arrogant and untouchable, was now a pariah. The divorce proceedings were swift and brutal. With the overwhelming evidence, she received nothing but what she came into the marriage with, and even had to pay a portion of my legal fees. Her manipulative facade crumbled, revealing a desperate, broken woman. I saw her once, months later, walking alone down a desolate street in the Loop, her shoulders slumped, her eyes hollow. She didn't see me, and I didn't acknowledge her. The satisfaction I thought I would feel wasn't there, only a profound emptiness. The revenge was complete, but it hadn't brought back the man I was, or the life I'd lost. It had merely cleared the wreckage. The silence that followed was deafening, a cold echo in the vast, empty space where love once resided. The end.